Welcome back to Love and Junk. I'm Laura.
You are not.
Well, I'm sitting over in your seat.
That's right. We switched things up. I'm Laura.
And I'm John.
Today, we're going to tell you what we are watching on Hulu right now.
That's right. We've got several different categories that we're looking at that we typically watch shows on.
Yeah.
We have reality, cooking, sitcom, drama, and game shows.
Right. Those are kind of our, I don't know. We tend to watch a lot of different categories. Like we have a reality show or two going at the same time as something funny and something that's a drama. We don't like to, well, I don't. You might, I think I've made you be this way, but I don't like to watch too many dramas at once. I want it mixed in with things a little bit lighter, and I don't like to watch something that's going to potentially bother me right before I go to bed.
Right.
So we always have to throw in some comedy.
Yep.
So here's what we're watching right now. What are we starting with?
Well, our biggest list right now is reality. So let's hit that.
So some of these are ones we're currently watching, and some are just shows that we like to watch that happen to be on Hulu if you haven't checked them out before.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. So first, what's current right now and going in their second season would be Making It.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen that before, it's a crafting competition.
Yeah.
Kind of like a baking competition, if you've watched those before. And they're crafting things. Amazing things, though. Not like...
macaroni.
Right.
Like a macaroni noodle portrait.
Right. Huge, amazing things. These people are very talented, and they all use different mediums like paper crafting, and some are painters, and some are metal crafters or wood crafters, and it's really amazing. We really like it.
Yeah, it's good, and it's current. It's I think weekly on NBC, but they also show it on Hulu. Mm-hmm. We just finished up season 2 of The Masked Singer. That is a way overly produced show, but it is also very entertaining. So
right. Yeah,
so
it's
like
one of those
watching
shows where you're like, get to it already.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, pomp and circumstance in that show.
Right.
But we really like the singing part. We love that, I don't know, it's frustrating, right? Like, in the real world, would anybody ever beat Patti LaBelle, let's say?
Right.
Or some legendary singers. This year there was a lot of legendary singers, and some people that were athletes, let's say, got further in the competition or
right.
whatever. So
season 2 just finished. Season 3 kicks off after Laura's 49ers win the Super Bowl.
that's right.
We watched Shark Tank. Shark Tank is on there. That's been out for a long time. I don't think anybody needs any descriptor on that.
No, we love that show though.
Yeah. We also love a lot.
Wait, sorry. Who's your favorite shark? We could talk about
I
that.
don't know. If you have a favorite one.
Well, it depends on what it is. I love different things about each of them. I love how Mark Cuban, I love and hate Mark Cuban at the same time. I like how he waits till the end and he goes in there and swoops something up, but I also hate that he puts so much pressure. I need an answer in 10 seconds. And I don't know, they each bring something to it. So it's as much about the products and businesses as it is about how each of the different sharks handle how they invest their money. It's interesting.
I think Mark is my favorite too, but watching it, I don't know. When you see the people come up and give their pitch, I'm not like, oh, Mark should get it every time. I kind of want who I think would be the best shark for that person.
We say that too. Yeah. We'll say, oh, it's a little gadget. That'd be perfect for Lori or whatever. Yeah. We definitely armchair quarterback that show.
Yeah. We also love a lot of house type shows, like flipping shows, like Fixer Upper and Flip or Flop. Those are a little bit older. Some of them I don't think are in the air anymore, so there aren't any new ones.
Right, but you can still check them out on Hulu. House Hunters International.
Yeah, we love that.
Sometimes you like to dream about what would it be like to, you go on vacation to the Bahamas, but what do those houses, I was in real estate for a long time, so I think that's a natural thing for us to kind of think about, like, what do houses go for in different places, and we do check that out. But I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's surprising.
Yep. It is. So yeah, House Hunters International. I love International better than regular House Hunters.
I do too. I love to see, we like to eat different foods from different countries on our channel. We like to see how other people live too. Like the refrigerators and the stoves and the washers and dryers are different, and they might be in the kitchen, which is foreign to us, obviously. And it's just, and we don't mean that in a bad way. Like it's different. We think that's cool, and we find it interesting. Yeah.
I love The Last Alaskans. That was tough to get out. Anyways, it's a show about these people in Alaska, and way up in northern Alaska, there's like this huge swath of land that the U.S. government controls, and they have like these people are grandfathered in to be able to live there. Otherwise, once they're gone, nobody else can live in this area because it's like a government environmental zone. And so they just go there and they live out their winter in these little cabins, and I think it's pretty cool. It's interesting.
We have that in our blood, that homesteader kind of, I would say, interest more than we're living it in life. We definitely are both interested in those kind of things. And so it's amazing for me to see those people that want to do everything, grow their own food or catch all their own food, trap it, whatever. They do a lot of their own maintenance on their own places where they live and all of that. And then for these people, they're doing it with extreme weather conditions and on top of all of that.
It's kind of crazy because this one family flew out to live in like this little tiny plane in this cabin for the winter. It's like, why wouldn't you want to stay like when it's nice out during the summer or something like that? I know that some of those families that are featured on there, or some of the guys that are featured, do like trapping, and you can only do that during the winter time, but I'm not sure about that family.
I would have an interest in homesteading and living more off the land and all of that. And I also have an interest in visiting Alaska. I have zero interest in living in Alaska and homesteading. Just putting it out there. I don't think I could handle that. I don't think I'm built for all that snow and all that cold. I don't think you are either.
Oh, come now. I like to watch this, it's kind of like a game show. It's a competition. It's called Alone, where these guys go out into the wild in certain areas and they live by themselves as long as they can. And that's kind of like a last man standing type thing. The last one that calls for help kind of wins the competition.
Yeah, and they can out themselves anytime they want. Yeah. And bail out.
Yeah, and that would be hard, being out there knowing that you could just call
and you don't know how many people are left, and...
Right. Yeah. You could be staying out there forever. And some of the shows, reality shows that you like, are like The Real Housewives, and
which they're like all on there. Yeah, you know what The Real Housewives is. Oh, and Vanderpump Rules. I like that one. Rules. I started. You know what? That's how. Okay, so I was in real estate. That's what started me in watching Real Housewives. I used to always watch like $1 Million Listing and all of those things when I was in real estate. And the Real Housewives of Orange County, several of them in the first couple of seasons still worked, before the show was such a hit, and they were realtors. And so that's how that kind of started. Vanderpump Rules is a spinoff of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And she owns her and her husband own a lot of different hotspot restaurants. And so I find that interesting more than I do like the drama kind of it. It's the same kind of thing. How do other people live?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I haven't watched that with you, but I have seen a few episodes of The Real Housewives, and it is interesting. You kind of get drawn into their stories and their drama and stuff.
Well, and some of them are interesting people, right? Like, Camille Grammer was on there, and Denise Richards and, some people that are actors or whatever outside of being the Real Housewife.
Right. They also have Survivor and The Amazing Race as far as their reality shows, and that's stuff that we would watch.
It's kind of fun that you can go back and watch those, like from the beginning if you ever missed.
Yeah. Our next biggest list would be cooking shows. They have Guys Grocery Games.
Yeah. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Yeah. Chopped. I love Chopped. They have MasterChef and MasterChef Junior.
We love MasterChef. I don't want to speak for you. I love MasterChef Junior more than MasterChef.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the judges are different to the kids. They're still hard on them. I get more emotionally attached when it's kids. I want them to do well, and that's a lot of pressure for kids. It's a lot of pressure for anybody.
Yeah.
And they come up with amazing things that you would expect somebody that is a restaurant chef to be able to cook.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But for an 8-year-old to...
Yeah, and they're little tiny. You see them get their little step stools over there so they can reach the counter.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, anyway.
On that same note, there's all the kids baking championships out there that we like to watch.
Yeah, and that has Valerie Bertinelli as a judge and Duff Goldman. Duff Goldman. Yeah. Anyway, Valerie and Duff. So they're much softer judges than like Gordon Ramsay. I think a lot of them are afraid of Gordon Ramsay, but he's different. He's not as hard on them.
Right.
But anyway.
We like to watch the other baking championships too with the adults.
But we get drawn into the kids more.
Yep. Let's see. Top Chef. We were hooked on that for a long time. Looking through this list and like trying to think of shows and stuff, it kind of I want to start watching or to see if they have another season out.
And the new Top Chef that is coming out, which I don't know if it's this month or next month. I think it's this month. Is All Stars.
Nice.
So that's crazy to think. I mean, Top Chef, they've done it a couple of times, but it's been around long enough that they can pull people back to do All Stars. And what I appreciate about Top Chef is that it's not, here's the same competition and a different ingredient. They're always changing what they have to do. I do like that wherever they're located, whatever city they're in, they really try to embrace the culture, the food culture of that city.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that show a lot.
Yeah, that show's great. I love it. And like I said, I want to see this new season when it comes out. So, let's see. Worst cooks?
For the same reason we like Top Chef and the other ones, we love worst cooks. I don't know. You root for them, right? You want them to do better. We're not the best cooks.
No,
but we're not the worst cooks either.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's good to see how they change and, progress through the time. So, and then I like Iron Chef America. I have not seen that in quite some time. Of course, it's been off the air, so I've probably seen them all. But I just love to see how those master chefs, how they make such crazy inventive things.
I like that too. It's just more expected from them.
Yeah. Well, and then the type of show is not for everybody because it is kind of you've got Alton Brown just there talking like it's a sports show.
And they have sous chefs. I like it okay, but I think I like every other food show that we mentioned better. But we really love food shows a lot. I mean, I could sit down and watch a food show at any time. In fact, when I was a kid, on PBS and stuff, I would watch cooking shows. Even as a kid, I liked it.
Nice. All right. Our next list that we have is sitcoms.
Hulu has a ton of sitcoms, a ton. In fact, when we were getting ready to do this, we sat down and we looked at all the sitcoms, and we kind of know the ones that we watch. But I was surprised at how many old classic TV shows there were on there that we haven't watched that maybe now we'll go back and watch.
Well, I was like, they have like I Love Lucy and Taxi, like all these old school like sitcoms.
Brady Bunch,
That was pretty
a
cool.
bunch of old stuff, which is pretty cool.
As far as newer stuff that we watched Bless This Mess. That is a newer show. I think it's another one that is out on whatever channel it is, ABC, CBS, something like that. But then they also show it on Hulu.
Which that one's about, if you've never seen it, it's Dax Shepard and
I don't know who
who the woman is. But it's a couple, and they have left their big fancy lives in the city to a little farm that they're trying to get up and going. So it's modern day Green Acres, I feel like.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's funny. It's a good show. We watched The Detour, and in preparation for this, we found out that season 2 is out. So
right, how do you describe The Detour?
It is a mess. Like if you like funny shows that might make you slightly uncomfortable.
There's some inappropriateness to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's some potty humor and that kind of thing.
Right. But it is funny. It's about the first season was about this family that's taking a trip down to Florida for a conference, but the whole family doesn't know that the guy got fired right before that.
Yeah, they don't know why they're going. They think they're just going on a family vacation. It's in the style of National Lampoons, I would say.
Kinda,
is the best way to describe it to you.
Yeah, it's very funny though. They also
that was a compliment.
Yeah. They also have Fresh Off the Boat. That's been out for a while, but we like that. Goldbergs.
Oh, if you are of a certain age, like we are, it's fun to go back and see the clothes and the cars and all of that. It's the same thing that people love, like that 70s show. Yeah. You can, this is set in the 80s.
That's great. I love that show. Life in Pieces, we like that one.
Yeah. That is one of those shows that has, is it 4 different little segments in each show?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
And so it's about a mom and dad and their kids, and they sometimes intertwine, and sometimes it's just a little segment about each one of them. There's really funny kids in that show. Sophia is my favorite as a little smart alecky girl who's just like smart and hilarious.
Yeah.
It's an ensemble cast. There's a lot of people that you will recognize in there. What is his name? Tom Hanks' son. Whatever his name is.
Colin.
Colin is in there.
I can't remember who has it.
Go check it out.
It's hilarious.
It's a really good show.
Yeah, and then rounding out the sitcoms, we watched The Good Place.
I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah, it's good. It's on NBC. It's also on Netflix and Hulu. So
that's about what happens when you die. Are you in the good place? Or are you in the bad place? And what makes it the good place or the bad place? And all of that hijinks ensue.
That's right. Let's see. Dramas. This Is Us is on Hulu.
Yeah. That's one of those things I have to watch. We are behind, so nobody spoil it for me.
Right.
We're behind. I have to go in... it depends on what else we're watching. I can only watch it in little chunks, and then I get emotionally attached and wrapped up, and it starts to bother me, and I have to take a break, and then we come back to it.
Right.
They deal with a lot of tough stuff, and they do it really well.
They do.
But they talk about miscarriage and adoption and death, addiction, a lot of real life stuff, and they do it very well, but it is hard to watch sometimes.
Yep. Something a little bit lighter on the drama note, we watch Emergence.
Yeah, you explain that one.
Emergence is about a police chief in like a small town. There's like a plane crash, but then there's a girl that survives and without a scratch.
A little girl.
Yeah, a little girl. Mm-hmm. And things keep happening. Something like she has powers and stuff.
It's a sci-fi show.
It's it's a how do you call a sci-fi drama?
I don't know, but it's drama.
Dramedy.
Yeah, there's an element of sci-fi to it.
Yeah, it's very good though. Mm-hmm. We watched Fargo. We haven't seen that for a while. But of course, they haven't had a new season out lately.
I didn't realize though that it was on Hulu, and if you've never watched Fargo, you should check it out.
Yeah. There's some violence to it, and it's.
But it's one of those shows that we got hooked on and wanted to know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a binge-worthy show. And also, I think there's 3 seasons, but we most enjoyed, I think, the first one.
Yeah, first one.
So if you haven't seen it, start. And they're independent of each other.
Right.
So you could just watch season 2. It has nothing to do with season 1,
right.
But watch season 1 if you haven't seen it.
Yep. And then game shows.
Another genre.
Another genre. We love game shows. Of course, we love games. So, just go to figure that we watch those type of things.
I grew up like game shows. Depending on what time we ate, like a lot of times we would eat before, and then the whole family sat down and watched Wheel of Fortune together.
Right.
A lot of times, let's make a deal together.
Yeah.
And definitely, if I was ever homesick, it was all the, Price is Right, all the shows were on. Like game shows, I think if you're, I don't know, our age, you probably were raised the same way, right?
Yeah. I remember, if my grandparents were watching me, that they would always have different game shows on. And then, every night that we would eat, for whatever reason, we had to have dinner on the table at 5 p.m. sharp. And sometimes the news would be on, but after we got done eating, then there was I don't know, it was on Jeopardy or something. Then Wheel of Fortune came on, and game shows on Hulu. They do have a number of game shows. They have Card Sharks and Press Your Luck.
Yeah, do you remember those? They did remakes of those.
Yeah, these are remakes, so they're pretty interesting. We watched some of those.
If you liked them before, they've done little tweaks and updated each of them, but the show with the whammies is still the show with the whammies, and the big board, it turns around, and there's that whole element of, are they going to land on a whammy? And if you liked it before, you'll like it again. And if you didn't watch it before, give it a try.
Yep. Ellen's Game of Games. We like to watch that sometimes.
So entertaining, and Ellen is hilarious. So some of these games that are in this show are hilarious.
Right.
Laugh our butts off hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do things with big goggles on. And of course, they could just have goggles on, but they're big crazy eye goggles. And she just makes it funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hollywood Game Night. We love to watch that from time to time.
Mm-hmm. That is celebrities playing with average Joe people, trying to help them win money. And they play a lot of different word association games that have to do mostly with pop culture, I would say.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then Spin the Wheel. It's kind of like The Wall was. I liked The Wall when that was on, but that was on Hulu, I don't think. I think it was on Hulu.
It was. That's also, so we talked about Bless Us Mets. This is Dax Shepard too. And you get up and you spin a big wheel. What I don't like about the game, so it has the same thing, later stages go on, there's more bad things on the wheel, and just like what you would expect. What I don't like about it is if you're spinning the wheel, why is it random? It's randomly, you just have to touch it and it'll go.
Yeah,
and it's set randomly. I don't, so there's no how hard you spin it or whatever, and it's pure luck.
Yep, pure luck. It's kind of crazy about that. I agree, that is one aspect that I don't like about it.
Mm-hmm. People winning money, though, that's always fun to watch.
Yep. And then, last but not least, what is not on our list, but as far as sci-fi goes, I love sci-fi. And I found out tonight that Hulu has all kinds of Star Trek.
I've known that. I just didn't tell you.
Movies and all the TV shows. Oh my gosh, I know what we're going to be doing for the next, 6 months or so.
I need to get some of those goggles from the Ellen show.
What, pretend you're watching and you'll be asleep? Oh my gosh, I love Star Trek.
It's okay. Some of it's okay. Some of it I like, some of it I don't.
Blaspheme. That's it. You're going to watch TV in the basement.
I like what I like. What can I say? I mean, some of it I like. Some of it I very much like.
Well, the new show Star Trek Picard is coming out soon, and so I have offered graciously to pare down certain episodes that we have to watch to prepare for that show. So you don't have to watch them all. There's just certain ones. Anyways, so that's our thought on cool shows that are on Hulu right now.
Right. I'm sure you've watched a lot of these shows, and if you have, great. Let us know what you think of them in the comments.
Yep.
And if there's anything else that we missed that you're watching that you think we should check out. And that's pretty much it, right?
That's it, guys.
So, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the little subscribe and the little bell so that you can be notified when a new video does go up.
Yep.
What else? If you like... Oh, go ahead.
If you like Star Trek.
No, we don't want any thumbs downs.
What?
If you like TV and list making, ooh, that's my favorite.
List making.
Yeah.
They should have a reality show based on list making.
Mm-hmm. I'll win.
Sounds like a snooze fest.
Anyway, if you like TV, or what else? Hulu. If you watch Hulu.
Yep, Hulu.
Or if you just like us or the video, then give it a big thumbs up.
That's right.
And that's all we have for today.
That's it.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.